For speech 4, I will be redoing my persuasive speech. The 3 things that I will be correcting is I will be changing my introduction so that it will be more relevant to the rest of the speech. I will improve my organization, and I will shorten the duration of the speech. A study published in the scientific journal Health and Place surveyed 20 community gardens in upstate New York to see what effects that they had on the communities that they were placed in. What was reported was that the health of the community, the access to fresh food, and the time that people spent outdoors all increased. But what was even more remarkable than these more obvious changes was that other issues in the community were more readily to be addressed in areas where community gardens were present. This phenomena was 4 times as likely to occur in low-income areas as in higher-income areas. You see, gardening is not just a hobby for your local green thumb. It's a powerful tool that can literally change lives and bring people together. Planting a community garden here in Joplin would be not only good for gardeners, but good for the education of our community and for small businesses. So, on behalf of Chipotle, I would like to ask you, Mercy Joplin, to donate part of the St. John's lot to provide a community garden for the people here in Joplin by joining with us in Chipotle's Growing Together project. Since the tornado in 2011, many groups have sprouted up that center around the idea of community and growing together, such as the Rebuild Joplin program. But there is yet to be one that combines this coming together as a community with connecting local businesses and providing educational opportunities for people in our area. The conceptual plans that you published in the Oklahoma Nursing Times in 2012 showed that your plans for the old St. John's lot are to transform it from an empty lot into a place of memory and commemoration of what Joplin is. Yet much of this land is going to be left as green area or undeveloped forest area. Filling just a small piece of this green land with a community garden would be the ultimate symbol of what Joplin is capable of growing past this terrible event and coming together as a community. Having a community garden here in Joplin would be good for gardeners. See, there are many gardeners like myself who are passionate about gardening but don't have the resources at our own homes to be able to have our own gardens where we live. Having a community garden would provide a place for people who are passionate about gardening to be able to come and to connect with each other and to share about their passion with others. The community garden would also be a place for education. It would provide a venue for organizations like the Missouri Southern Department of Agriculture to be able to come and teach the public about growing their own food and about health and wellness and about the importance of preserving our environment. But finally, this community garden would also be good for business. See, by putting your name behind something like a community garden, companies like ours and yours will be able to make a statement. And that statement is that we care about the community beyond just selling health in our own restaurant and in your own hospital. We want to reach out to the community and provide ways for the community to improve their own health. So let's visualize what this community garden would actually be like in detail. So where would it be? Well, my proposed location is on the old St. John's site, but where? Well, here's the artist's rendering of what your plans are for the St. John's lot. Now here, up in this corner, in where I've circled in red, would be the perfect location for a community garden for two main reasons. The first reason is that it is this green area that would otherwise be left as forested area, and there is already a parking lot located nearby. What this means is that the planting of this community garden would not disrupt Mercy's plans in any way. And second of all, its location being right next to the road and right across the street from nearby Cunningham Park would mean effortless publicity for people walking by and people driving by to be able to see the community garden and enjoy not only the beauty of it, but perhaps spark their interest in starting their own garden within the community garden. Now, what would this community garden look like? Well, here's a layout potentially that this garden could take on. Having a layout like this would allow larger and smaller plots of land for people who might want a different size of garden. And it would also allow for a community area in the middle with a shed and benches and tables for teaching opportunities and also for people to be able to connect with each other. So when would we want this done? Well, ideally, we would want this project to be finished and ready for opening in spring of 2016. I know a year might seem like a crunch, but it won't take very much to turn this lot into a community garden. And with a little push, we would be able to open in time for the next planting season. Since it's a garden, the opening time is critical. And having a full year to be able to prepare the land for the community garden is more than enough time to get the job done. Now, who would be responsible for this? Well, leave it all up to Chipotle to take care of any contracting, building, and maintenance of the site. All that we are asking of Mercy is to donate the land and possibly funds towards this project. And how could we accomplish this? Well, by teaming up our corporate effort, by teaming up both of our resources, by teaming up our names to get this community garden started here in Joplin. So, as you can see, starting a community garden here in Joplin would be a benefit for gardeners, for our community, and for our businesses. Joining in this cause of Chipotle growing together wouldn't take as much as you would think. That layout that I showed earlier, with both larger and smaller plots of land, could all fit in under 4,000 square feet of space. And for only $4,000, Mercy would be able to provide a small shed and basic hand tools for the tenants to use. For just 4,000 square feet and $4,000, we could start a change here in Joplin with just one garden. This amount of land and money is just a drop in the bucket to the wealth of resources that Mercy possesses. And yet, this one drop would be able to water a garden of change, of community, and of education. You can start a difference here in Joplin. All it takes is one drop.